Where truth still speaks and silence is not consent. They promised protection, said trust the state, but terror walked free while speech met the gate. A grandmother stands with a sign in her hand, here to talk if you want, calm and unplanned. They quoted the law, discretion decides, then they locked her wrist and called it justified. This is the warning, this is the line. When freedom gets quiet, power feels fine. If speech is the crime and terror slips through, the question is simple: what happens to you? Go right with Peter Boykin, defend liberty, or lose it quietly.
Are we willing to trade the First Amendment for the illusion of order? Welcome to #GoRight with me, Peter Boykin, your host. And this is a commentary from GoRightNews.com. You can find out more about this on GoRightNews.com and find out what I'm talking about through the article. Folks, let me tell you something that should unsettle every free person who is still paying attention. There was a 74-year-old grandmother who stood quietly on a public street. She did not shout. She did not harass. She did not block anyone's path. She did not threaten, intimidate, or coerce a single soul. Her sign said, "Coercion is a crime. Here to talk, only if you want." The police approached her. They told her why. They cited the law, and they explained the buffer zone, and then they arrested her anyway. She was calm, she was compliant, and she explained exactly what she was doing and exactly what she was not doing. She made no attempt to approach anyone. She stood quiet. She followed instructions. But under a law so vague that even the government admits enforcement depends on, quote, facts and circumstances, that was enough. And folks, that's not justice. That is discretionary power dressed up as public safety. And it's dangerous. Now hold that image in your mind. Because while a grandmother is handcuffed for offering consensual conversation, terrorists at Bondi Beach were able to plan, purchase weapons legally, radicalize, and carry out a mass murder in one of the most tightly regulated countries on Earth. Survivors describe police freezing because intelligence missed warning signs, and the institutions they have set up failed, and lives were lost. And here's the part we're not supposed to say out loud. Those governments that failed to stop terror on Bondi Beach, they definitely moved with absolute efficiency to stop speech. So Bondi Beach is not just an Australian tragedy. It is a warning. It's a warning about what happens when governments promise protection while disarming citizens and gagging debate. It's a warning about what happens when speech becomes a crime while extremism becomes a footnote. And a warning about what happens when people are taught that safety requires obedience instead of accountability. This wasn't about abortion, this isn't about religion, and this is not about one grandmother. This is about priorities. Because when a state treats silent expression as more dangerous than violent extremism, You are no longer living in a free society. You are living in a managed one. And managed societies always sell the same lie. This is all for your safety. Look across Europe. Look at the UK. Look at Scotland. Look at how laws are written so vaguely that no one knows what is legal until police decide after the fact. Look at how people are arrested for posts, jokes, retweets, WhatsApp messages, and opinions expressed inside their own homes. In the article, I state over 300 a day. 300 a day arrests about social media, but they can't stop a terrorist. When the law says an offense exists only if enforcement decides it does, that is not law. That is discretion, and discretion is the enemy of liberty. Because once speech becomes conditional, once citizens must guess what might offend a bureaucrat or prosecutor, freedom no longer exists as a right. It exists as a permission. And some people ask, are these really Western governments that's doing this? The answer is yes, and that is exactly why this matters. Europe is not outside Western civilization. It is the source of it. The Magna Carta. The idea that a man's home is his castle. The belief that conscience exists prior to the state. America didn't invent free speech. America inherited it. They refined it and locked it behind the First Amendment so no future government could do what European governments are doing again and again and again. They're trying to find some way to go after people over here. They're already making changes to social media. They're already trying to change the world from their little board. This is not the West under attack from the outside. This is the West hollowing itself out from within. And when terrorists are described as unfortunate incidents, or people won't name the terrorists, and grandmothers are described as criminals, the moral compass is broken. When police can kick down doors over words but freeze during acts of violence, the system is upside down. But let me tell you about the most dangerous part. Many people overseas do not even see the problem anymore. Or they're afraid. And that tells you everything. Either they have been conditioned to accept this as normal, or they are afraid to speak plainly because they know the consequences. When silence feels safer than truth, the chilling effect has already won. And that is why, America, please pay attention. Because once speech policing becomes normalized, it never stays limited. It always expands. It always finds new categories, new justifications, and new targets. Today, it's a prayer. Tomorrow, it's political dissent. And next time, it's you. So are you willing to trade the First Amendment for the illusion of order? Because Bondi Beach is not just an Australian tragedy. It is a warning. Again, a warning about what happens when governments promise protection while disarming citizens and gagging debate. A warning about what happens when speech becomes a crime but extremism becomes a footnote. And warning about what happens when people are taught that safety requires obedience instead of accountability. America, we must not follow this path. We do not protect a constitutional republic by arresting citizens for words. We do not stop terror by banning discussion of its causes. And we do not preserve liberty by teaching people to whisper in their own homes. The First Amendment exists because the founders understood something modern governments seem to have forgotten. That power fears speech, and free people depend on it. If we abandon that lesson, we will not become safer. We will become quieter. And history shows that quiet societies do not stay free for long. So that's the warning. That is the warning. And if we ignore it, we will deserve the silence that follows. Folks, I'm happy that I live in the United States of America. And we have the Constitution, the First Amendment, our Second Amendment. That's why I'm a constitutionalist for liberty. And I will continue to use my voice with Go Right News to get the message out there. And together we're going to go right. God bless everybody. Please share this. Please let other people know. Please follow all the social medias. And remember, it's time to go right.
Sunlight on the water, Bondi turning red. Candles in the sand for the names of the dead. They told us laws would save us, told us trust the state. But evil crossed the shoreline and it did not wait. Sirens frozen silence, 20 minutes long, while the talking heads told us nothing went wrong. Call it tragedy, say it slipped through the seams, but don't you dare ask questions, don't you question the dream. They missed the warning signs, they missed the thread, but they heard every word you ever said. Why are grandmothers in handcuffs while terrorists walk free? Why is speech the crime now in the land that taught us liberty? They failed to stop the bloodshed, but they're watching what you say. If this is safety, tell me, what did freedom trade away? A quiet street in Scotland, sign held in her hands. Here to talk if you want, not a threat, not a demand. They quoted her the law, said discretion decides. Then they locked her wrist tight and called it justified. Pray by your window, careful what you wear. Say the wrong thing softly, they're already there. No warning lines, no clarity, no line you can see. Just the knock at the door for thinking differently. They say it's for the good, they say it's for the peace, but somehow truth is dangerous and silence is release. Why are grandmothers in handcuffs while terrorists walk free? Why is speech the crime now in the land that taught us liberty? They failed to stop the bloodshed, but they're watching what you say. If this is safety, tell me, what did freedom trade away? Magna Carta fading, castles cracking stone by stone. A man's home was sacred, now your thoughts aren't even your own. They call it Western values, but it doesn't look that way. When power fears the people, and the people when to pray. They told her why, they cited the law, they explained the zone, and then they arrested her anyway. Bondi was the warning, Britain wrote the rule. Arrest the quiet voices while the killers play the fool. If America forgets this, if we trade rights for control, we won't lose freedom loudly, we'll just lose it slow. Power fears the question, power fears the sound. Free people speak anyway, but freedom's never found.